Hello, and welcome. I am Exolite, and this is my channel. Today, I'm going to do an update video. Several months ago, I did a video about two little boys, Orson West, who was 3 years old, and Orrin West, who was 4 years old, who went missing from their adopted family's home on December 21st, 2020. There had been no leads. There had been nobody as a suspect. But in November, I heard on the news that the police were going to search the adoptive parents' home again. They had moved after the boys went missing. So I'm going to get started with this update. The parents of toddlers Orrin and Orson West, who were reported missing from their California City home just days before Christmas in 2020, were arrested and indicted for their murder this week. Trezell and Jacqueline West, who adopted the boys, are each facing 2 counts of second-degree murder and felony child abuse, 1 count for each victim, according to the Kern County District Attorney's Office. District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer said today, Wednesday, March 2nd, that it appears that Orson and Orrin were killed 3 months before the Wests told investigators that the boys 3 and 4 had gone missing, vanished, while playing in their yard. The bodies of the victims of the children have not been found, Zimmer said during a news conference, although I did read an article that said that in the parents' home they did find a human bone. This case has tugged at the heartstrings of people in my office and in law enforcement and in this community, Zimmer said. It's a horrific tragedy that these precious little boys had to lose their life. When the Wests reported the boys were missing to the California City Police Department, volunteers and law enforcement, including the FBI, conducted an exhaustive search of the remote area but turned up nothing. They even went into their backyard with those machines that they run over and they see if there's anything solid. They dug up their backyard and they said they had found nothing. Their yard butted up to an empty lot. They said that they thought maybe the boys had gotten out of their gate, or worst case scenario, according to them, was that someone had kidnapped the boys. This story is touching me because I remember watching it on the news and feeling sick to my stomach about what could have happened to these adorable little boys, just 3 and 4 years old. They just trust people at that age, and they trusted their parents. Police soon suspected foul play, according to KABC TV Channel 7. The outlet reported that authorities brought in cadaver dogs to West's home and excavated the yard. About a week after the children were reported missing, crucial information came to light, necessitating the involvement of the Bakersfield Police Department and Kern County DA's office. More than a year-long investigation has ensued, continuing into the grand jury hearing, which began about 3 months ago. More than 50 witnesses testified as part of the indictment, and much of those witnesses testified and were extremely emotional, said Eric Smith, supervisor of the district attorney's homicide unit. Zimmer said that the fact that law enforcement has not found the boys' bodies does not preclude a homicide prosecution. After being arrested at around 7 p.m. Tuesday night, the Wests are now being held in Kern County Jail without bail, according to prosecutors and inmate records. They also have been charged with 1 count each of making a false report of an emergency court record show. Each of them faces 30 years to life in state prison if convicted in these boys' death. The couple has 4 other children, 2 biological and 2 adopted. They have been removed and put into the custody of Child Protective Services. And in fact, when the boys went missing, the police and Child Protective Services came in and took their other children. And at the time I mentioned that seemed odd. It seemed like they felt they were in danger. They had reported that the boys had gone to their grandma's house to play several times, but the neighbors who lived around them said that they never saw the boys outside. So the reports that the parents were giving that they played outside all the time, they said weren't true. But at the time, everybody was quarantined. It was 2020. Everybody was quarantined. Everybody was in their house. It could be possible to not see children outside. But the grandmother did not speak to the police or to the reporters. That seemed odd. I did feel like the parents were legitimately nervous during their interview, but apparently that was nerves because they were afraid to get caught. They were in contact with the boys' biological parents, and the biological parents do know that the boys have been murdered and apparently abused before that. I'm glad that we have an ending to this particular case. Some closure for the boys, thinking that they might be out there somewhere, taken by God knows who, and being put through God knows what is a torment, I'm sure, for their family and loved ones. And now hopefully they'll find their bodies and they can be put to rest. Thank you for coming. Good night.